I have partnered up with Alois to make some champion-specific guides for the Summoner School website. I tried to put a ton of information in every single one of these guides. Currently, I've made 3 champion guides for the Summoner School website. I have made a Garen guide, a Warwick guide, and a Mordekaiser guide. In these guides, you will find stuff like explaining all the runes, the items, matchups, and so on. And on top of every single video that the guide provides, there is also a matchup spreadsheet for every single one of these guides. If you wish to check out one of these guides, the link to the website will be in the video description. Now, with this introduction out of the way, please enjoy this video.
Malice never wins.
This isn't the standard setup that I take into Riven rune-wise. Normally, I take Inspiration secondary and I have Magical Footwear with Approach Velocity and I look to rush Rylai. But this game, I decided to go for a setup that allows me to fight Riven straight up, even though I won't have the stick power of Rylai. But again, normally I go for Rylai with Inspiration secondary and I just wait for that spike. Because I have Resolve secondary, I could look to rush Dusk and Dawn in this case and just do a simple trade of Q auto. Even if my Q misses or Riven blocks the Q with her E shield, that's still going to be fine for me because my next attack will proc that Dusk and Dawn and then my passive will also go up, and then I would be able to win the short trade. Another thing that's worth noting here with Dusk and Dawn is that your W can activate the proc twice. When you initially activate your W, you proc it once, but then if you were to manually reactivate the ability, you're going to get another proc. This does mean that you'll have to convert the shield into a heal, but sometimes the shield is so small that it doesn't matter if it stays as a shield. So because of that, you might be able to get 2 Dusk and Dawn procs just from your W, depending on how the fight goes. Never underestimate Riven's burst. It's actually disgusting how much damage this character has. If your W is down, even if your ultimate is up, you're in her lethal range at around 90% health, because of course you are at 90% health. If your W is up though, you are in her lethal range at around 70% health. There's also the fact that she can chunk you out pretty significantly before going in. She's just gonna dash into you, do a short trade, and then run away. And it will be kind of difficult to extend that trade against her or follow her and win it. But if you are able to pull her back, you might be able to turn it into an even trade. Once you get Dusk and Dawn, then you can constantly proc the effect to heal up on the wave. It won't heal you an insane amount, but if you continuously proc it, eventually you'll get something like 100, 200 health from it. You should also look at what items Riven goes for. There's a chance she rushes Maw of Mortius and then your dueling power is worse. There's also a chance she just goes for Eclipse, which will make her short trading even better, or she can go Axiom Arc or Cleaver. There's a lot of different items that Riven can take, and the later the game goes, the worse this matchup gets. Once she gets Death's Dance and Endless Hunger, she's immortal to you. You can't kill her. So try to abuse your one item spike as much as possible. And don't over chase, especially if you don't have Rylai. After she used her dash there, I was very tempted to flash ulti Q ignite, but the reason I didn't is because I wasn't sure that would kill for certain, so then if it doesn't work and I burn everything and she lives, it's really bad.
been destroyed. You have slain an enemy. Has destroyed a turret. An enemy has been slain. Legendary. Has been slain. Victory!
This matchup is pretty annoying because if the Rumble plays well, he's gonna space you out really hard and he might even rush his tier 2 boots. Usually he'll go Sorks, but there are cases where he goes Boots of Swiftness. And with tier 2 boots and his E slow and his W speed, it will be really hard to stick to him pre-Rylai. The lane becomes much easier when you get Rylai, but until Rylai is when you're gonna struggle the most. The main issue here is just not dying to the Rumble. If you're in his melee range and he harpoons you and overheats with his Flame Spitter on, you're dead. He doesn't need to hit both harpoons, just one is enough and you're probably getting killed. If your ultimate is up, you might live, but it's still not a guarantee. Another thing you can do is wait for Rumble to overheat and then ulti him, or wait for his ulti and then ulti him. The reason you want to wait for him to overheat before ulting is because you will steal his increased attack speed from the overheat. So then when he goes out of overheat, he's gonna have even less attack speed and you'll have even more attack speed. And obviously by ulting after his ult, then it won't follow into the realm, which is pretty good. All you really have to do is take your trade smartly and play it slowly. Rumble can basically always W your Q, so because of that you're gonna need to pull him in to extend the trade, but if he overheats in the middle of the fight he's gonna win. Though it is easier to hit your pull on Rumble simply because when he has to use his Q he has to turn to face you. So because of that he's either gonna have to stand still, or if he wants to make sure that he has an easier time dodging the pull, he's gonna have to turn around. And because he's turned around, the Flame Spitter won't damage you. There's actually a lot of Rumbles that just sit in the middle of the wave and Q, and that way it forces you to walk away because if you don't you're gonna get burned. But because they just stand still, if you wanna go and engage, then you can pull him in. If you really want to, you can play super defensively pre-Rylai and then after Rylai you always fight him. It is infinitely easier to fight a Rumble the moment you get Rylai because you don't even have to start with your E. You can just hit him with a Q which will slow him, and then you can follow that up with your E which will be easier to land, and then he's in melee range and he can't run away. The main issue pre-Rylai is that even if you pull him in, he can slow you down with his harpoons and W to run away with the speed. But after Rylai it doesn't matter. The Rylai slow combined with your approach velocity, movement speed makes sure that you can stick on top of him. If you want to survive his burst later on, you can buy King Rooker in second and then he's not even gonna damage you. It will take him such a long time to actually kill you.
Has been slain.
The moment I saw the fact that Nefiri hit her first Q on me, I shouldn't have ulted. I'm dead to the next one no matter what, especially since she's in my face. Now I can simply hold a permafreeze on my side of the lane and he can never walk up to farm. The thing he could do to break this freeze kind of is just ulti the wave and then he will collect all the minions. But what I could do is still not break the freeze. What I mean by this is that even though he collected that wave, unless he goes to proxy immediately after, I can just not kill his wave. And then once my next minion wave comes in, it's gonna be frozen again. The only issue with this is that it means I'm going to have to tank all of his minions until mine arrive, which will put a lot of damage on me. And again, if he immediately goes to proxy after, then I'm gonna have to break the freeze. This game, instead of going for Spirit Visage or Kanek Rookern, I decide to go for Force of Nature. And the reason I go Force of Nature instead of those two is because I actually want the movement speed. The tankiness from Force of Nature is also good once that passive is up, but if I want it to be as tanky as possible, I would always go Kanek. Even against champions like Malzahar or Brand or Cassiopeia, or champions that can proc Force of Nature fast, it still doesn't matter. Kanek will always just outvalue it in terms of tankiness. You want to extend trades into Renekton, but Renekton wants to take short trades. Most of the time Renekton will dash in, do auto WQ, then maybe another auto attack, and then dash away. And if you allow him to do this combo a few times, then he will win the lane pretty hard. You're never gonna be able to all-in him because you'll be too low when you actually catch him. So because of that, what you want to do is either make sure that you don't get hit by the combo at all, or you retaliate. When he dashes away, you might be able to pull him back if you wait. Most of the time, Renekton will dash after finishing the combo, and then he's not gonna have any dashes left. So because of that, you can wait for that dash and then you can pull. If you were to just throw out your E and he still has his dash, he can just dash out of the pool. There is a chance you can still hit him even if his dash is up, but it's more unreliable. You also have to watch out for his W because it's gonna break your shield, but it only happens if his W is empowered. So because of that, pay attention to his Fury bar. One thing you can do if you know that he is saving his W for your W is quickly tap happier W. This makes sure that even though he has the empowered W to break the shield, you can at least get some value out of it. You obviously won't get as much healing as you would get shielding, but at least you get something. Going from 0% value with the shield to having a bit of extra health because of it is something. It's obviously not ideal, but it is what you have to do. Alternatively, you can force his W early into a fight and then he won't have it for later on to break that W shield. Unless the Renekton is maxing W, at which point you have to watch out because he can W 2 times in a fight and later on he can do it even 3 or 4 times. Pay attention to what item Renekton is rushing. He could go for Eclipse, which will increase his short trade power, he could go for Cleaver, which will increase his 1v1 dueling power in melee range, or he can even go for Blade of the Ruined King, which is the scariest one because his 1v1 power skyrockets the moment he gets it. If he goes Blade of the Ruined King, it's also safe to assume that he's maxing his W. Normally what I do into Renekton is go Plated Steel Caps and then get my first legendary item, or Bramble Vest into Plated and then my first legendary item. If you see that Renekton is going Blade of the Ruined King, always get Plated Steel Caps and Bramble first and then go into your first legendary item. And your first legendary item can be something like Riftmaker or Dusk and Dawn, maybe even Bloodletter's Curse. Just make sure that you don't hyper lose trades in the early game because you're greedy and walk up and let him short combo. If you are able to get past the early game and you get to around level 8 or so and you're both even, as long as you don't just eat those short trades on cooldown, you should win. Thank you guys for joining me in this video. I hope you found the information useful, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully very soon.
I am favored by the gods and awaited in the Hall of Bones.